friends, welcome back to Wacky Science. Today we are going to be asking the question, is it a liquid or a solid? But we are going to have to make it first. So what we're doing is we're going to mix a little bit of cornstarch and a little bit of water together, and we're going to see what it makes. Now, if you mix a little bit of cornstarch and a little bit of water, we're going to notice something a little bit crazy about it. Let's see what happens. So, a cornstarch, it's a solid. It's a powder. So something solid, it's like this bead. It's solid. It's made, it's not water, it's not floating in the air like gas. It's a solid. Now a liquid, that's like water. So remember, we're asking, is it a liquid or is it a solid? So let's get some cornstarch. I'm gonna do about a tablespoon. We're gonna put it in our bowl here. And I am now going to, it gets everywhere now, this is gonna get messy. I'm gonna put some water in our bowl as well. And I'm gonna start mixing this together. Now already, I can tell that this is not mixing very well. But it's we can sort of get it mixing. Now I might need to add a little bit more water here. Just a tiny bit though, not too much. See, if you add too much water, then it'll be too liquidy. And we don't want that. Although I guess that would answer our question of, is it a liquid or a solid? Now, all right, I think we actually have this. I think we have this about good. All right, so let's look at it. We've got, actually I think Miss Day has added a little bit too much water. So let's add a little bit more cornstarch back in. Not too much, just a little. Sometimes you have to kind of mess around with some stuff to get just the perfect mixture. Oh yeah. That's doing what we want it to do. All right, so let's ask the question, is it a liquid or a solid? Now if I just held it up and did it like this, what would you say? Does that look liquidy, like water? It does, right? But now, watch what happens when I push on it. Whoops, I'm pouring it out. Now let's get a little messy. Miss Day's gonna put it in her hand, okay? Now when I squeeze it, it's really hard to see. I'm trying to show it to you here. When I squeeze it, you can see for just a second that it turns into a solid. But if I leave it alone, it starts kind of melting down my hand. Can you see that in the camera? Let me do it again. I'm gonna pour it into my hand here. So pouring like a liquid, but then when I squeeze it, it turns into a solid. Can you see that in that camera there? So we're gonna do a little experiment here. I'm gonna try to get most of this back into my bowl. Because when I push on it, watch my finger. So watch my finger when I push my finger into water. No resistance, see that? No resistance at all. It just goes right into the water. Now watch what happens when I push my finger on this. You see how my finger's not going in at all? I'm pushing down on it and my finger's just sitting on top. Do you see that? Oh my goodness. It's not going in at all. I could do the same thing with beads. If I drop the bead in, It sits on top for a second before it sinks. Did you see that? Well, now I can't get it back out. Watch. See that? It sat on top for a second before it sinks in, and I bet you I can't get that back out now. Oh, that is really hard to get out. Let's do another bead. And I've got it dripping off my hands. Looks kind of gross, doesn't it? All right, drop it in. Sat on the top for just a second before it sunk in. Friends, this is an experiment that I highly recommend that you do at home. This is such a cool experiment. All I did was 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, 1 tablespoon of water, and you mix it with your hands until it starts feeling a little hard. Because when you push on it with your finger, quickly, it feels solid. But if I just set my finger on it, look at that. That's crazy. But I put my finger on it quickly, and it just sits on top. Put it on slow, sinks in just like a liquid. So is it a liquid or a solid? I think it's a little bit of both. Thank you guys so much for joining me. This is an experiment where your hands are gonna get really messy. I hope you have fun with this one, and I hope that you do it at home, because it's really hard to just see this experiment on camera. It's more fun to do this one, where you can actually stick your hands in it and see what it feels like, because it's pretty cool. All right, friends, I hope you enjoyed our wacky science for today, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.